Hi, nice to see you again. This week we went to my grandparents' house and I brought my watercolor set with me, so I want to paint some objects around the house and give you a short tour. My grandparents have a few gilaburu trees in their house. They've grown so much, and every year this marvelous fruit is harvested. They grow into this beautiful red color, but it's not the season, so these are still yellow. And as always, I love drawing plants, so it was easy to choose the first one. I know this plant by heart. I just had to look closer for some detailing like the leaves. And gilaburu is said to be really healthy. You can drink the juice as we do, or there's, I think, even peels. And it has a bit of a tongue twister name. In Turkish, you would expect the LNR to be in the opposite places. As I was a kid, I couldn't remember how it would spell. Anyways, I sketched out the body and where I want the leaves and the fruit to be. Then I realized I almost forgot how to watercolor, and I did many mistakes throughout this painting, like dipping my brush right into the wet paint and onto the paper, which made that big yellow mark, although it looks small from here. I just had to wipe the excess color. That's why I'm trying to proceed slowly and carefully, because I don't trust my watercolor skills yet. Actually, I really like watercolor because you can have so much freedom with it, and it's used really different ways by different artists. I follow a lot of really good watercolor and gouache artists. I will leave the link in the description box as always, so you can get inspired like I do. Also, you can see my old brush is shedding its paint. The little black pieces you see are the paint chipping, but I don't want to throw it away yet. It's a good brush. And actually, after starting, I realized that this paper is not the right kind of for watercolor. The texture is good, I think, but the paper is a bit thin. Although the sketchbook cover says it's for watercolor, if I add too many layers, it will warp, so I have to be careful. And actually, you will see the paper warping in the next painting. In the end, it was really fun to draw and paint gilaburu. It's been an important pattern in my childhood. Every year when we come to my grandparents, I would look up this tree and it would be yellow, so we could never harvest it, and I would be really curious of its taste. Now I know it's sour. And the next lucky object is the huge closet that has been sitting in the hallway for as long as I know. It's made by my grandfather. He used to be a carpenter, and the house has a lot of things he made and brought over. It's filled with memories. The doors, windows, and the cabinets made by him in the house are essential, but you don't even notice them when you first come in. I don't want to lose my memories of this place to the time, so I couldn't find a better way than include it in my creation. Because when you look at your past creations, the thoughts and the feelings will come back. At least they did for me. And there were many objects that didn't make the cut to this video. Like I wish I could draw the whole house, the exterior, the garden, the back room in the back, and honestly, many other things. These days I'm trying to piece together a portfolio, so I'm keeping my art supplies close. And I knew I wanted to watercolor here, so I brought my watercolor brush pen with me, although I'm too lazy to use it in a normal way, so I use it like a normal brush. I also bought a tablet for the same reason, for just working wherever I go, because we're on the road way too often. I have a few cool illustration and design ideas for my portfolio, so hopefully those will come soon. Oh, and also here's the pen I'm using to draw the lines. It's a small uniball gel pen. I have the infamous Muji from Japan, and that's the reason I'm hooked to the thin gel pens. I really like the sharp thin lines, though I would recommend the Muji size. This one is a little bit thin, but the flow is good. I like the quality. And unlike the emoji pen, you can find it in Turkey. And unlike the pilot, is that how you say it? This one is cheaper. If we come back to the drawing, this closet has too many empty big areas. And without the texture, it looks like a big orange box. So I'll try to introduce a bit more texture. And I really enjoy drawing just meaningless shapes that look like wood texture. It reminds me of our classes from the first year of university. We learned how to shade with markers, how to mimic different materials, but I never liked using markers, although it brought a new perspective for me. And I'm not done with this painting yet. We'll come back to this. I'll just have to take some time away from it because right now I can't see where it should go. The next non-forgettable object is the renowned copper cooking pot that was like a tongue twister. The cooking pot that is in every old Turkish house at one point in time. And one mistake I did with this painting, drawing this very symmetrical round form was already challenging. Then I just went and erased my sketching lines so they don't show up under the paint. But the color of this is already gray and I'm going to draw the lines afterwards, so I don't know why I did that, because in the end I couldn't see where the lines were. And the perspective, the shape is completely off because I eyeballed everything. So I wish I never erased the original sketch. And I learned from this mistake, as you'll see in the next painting. I did erase this sketch very lightly, since it had some unsure lines that could throw me off, but I corrected those lines with my mechanical pencil so that I can see in paint easily. And this is the heating stove in the living room again. It's a staple in old houses. It can get really cold here, even in the summer to fall transitioning season, so we have to use it in the evenings. And it was a must in winter. I'm sorry that I can't show you the process of this painting because I lost the footage, sadly. Somehow my camera ran out of battery, and even though it didn't shut down, which would alert me, it just deleted the whole recording. That made me really sad because I really enjoyed this. At least painting with the visible lines were much easier, because if I did the same mistake as the one before, this form would show my mistakes too. Not that I'm saying this is all correct, but... So after this painting, I decided to give a break for my hands and the camera, and I'm glad I did because a kitty cat showed up outside, so the break was a success. I petted her as much as I want. Turns out the kitty is a regular visitor. She's a mom and she seems to make our garden our territory. She was growling at another cat when I found her. One of the last objects is the backscratcher. This is also like really hard to say it for me. This is the third time I'm saying it. This video is full of tongue twisters. And now that I look back on it, I'm questioning why I chose it, since it's a bit weird object to choose, but I guess I always found this object very funny and interesting. Like the form of the backscratcher looks like a wooden hand, and it's so specific with its quote-unquote fingers. And the tip of the fingers is red. It's just so unique and weird form that is same in anywhere. I guess I was intrigued. And as promised, I'm going back to the closet and giving the sides more texture. If we get back on memories, the next is walnuts. Again, they're from their garden, and the huge tree is harvested every year. These walnuts are so tasty and they're a staple in our house. So when I went to Japan, I missed eating walnuts so much that I bought a huge big bag for quite a lot of money, and I was so happy. The last object or plant is roses. The smell of many different types and colors of roses are something I cherished when I come here. This year there are not many around, but I want to paint this because this is what reminds me of here. And that reminds me of rose water also. You would expect something as beautiful as a rose would have like a sweet aroma, but it's so sour that it's almost hard to drink for me. As this illustration is coming to an end, I realized what was missing, so I grabbed my gel pen to create more interest and mimic a texture. Now that I look back on it, I could have used paint to give it more texture, but I guess I'm much more comfortable with drawing than painting, and that's something I want to change. You can see how that brought out so much of the life and interest. I like where it was going, so I got a thicker pen, I think 0.5, to bring the objects away from each other and the background. And here is the result of a few hours. There are many things I could have done better, but I'm back with watercolor. Now that I'm recording my mistakes, it's much easier to see them, and that's the main reason of this channel. So if you have any questions or any criticism, comments, or advices about how to improve, I would love to hear it. Ooh, and one more thing. A hedgehog came into the house that night to drink some water, so I want to share this moment with you. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I have more interesting ideas for the channel, so you can keep in touch by subscribing. See you later.